welcome to the last part of this men's series here on the Breakfast Show. Today I have a special guest. His name is Father Chibole. He's a friend to us. I'm sure most of you are watching. This is not the first time you're seeing him. Yeye ni mtu yetu hapa sasa. Sasa Father Chibole, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Karibu. Tumekuwa tukiongea na wanaume.
Yes.
Tumekuwa tukieleza wanaume with your manhood, right from being a father, being a husband, marriage works, now you're coming to the conclusion.
Yes.
And now there's a small part that I want to do now to explain for more of a spiritual perspective and also your personal one. So both are allowed.
Yes.
And even your opinion.
Yes.
Yes. This thing called manhood and masculinity.
Yes.
Inaleta vurugu kidogo.
Yes.
Kwa sababu sasa hatujui tuambie, do you want people to become men or you want them to become masculine?
Yes.
I think sasa mwanaume anaanza kuchanganyikiwa kidogo.
Okay.
So I want you to take us through, and I know you've worked with men before.
Yes.
And I'm happy.
Yes.
I know you have a lot of insight into this.
Yes.
Sasa hebu tusaidie kwa sababu pia mimi ni mmoja wao, nataka nisaidike. Yes.
Very nice. So once again, I must also be very grateful to God and to my friends, the Word of Faith family, and particularly the Uprising TV. I have become a friend.
Yes, family actually.
Yes, a family and friend. And we are neighbors too. Yeah. So very nice to join this breakfast show. Yeah. It's very nice when people are fresh during the day to take it off.
Yeah.
Manhood and masculinity.
Yes.
Sounds the same, but a bit of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So manhood is defined as the state of being male.
Yeah.
A man is a male human being.
Yes.
A mature male human being, because a small male human being is called a boy.
Yes.
So a boy becomes a man. I hope a man doesn't become a boy. Because that would be going back.
Yeah.
And so the state of being male is manhood.
Yeah.
But masculinity, in masculinity, we emphasize on the attributes, the roles and functions of a man.
Yes.
So you can be a man without being masculine, but you cannot be masculine without being a man.
Hey.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes, let me build up on that.
Yes.
So in masculinity here, we are celebrating the attributes, the qualities, the characteristics of a man.
Yeah.
If I may go scientific, you would say manhood is the hardware and masculinity is the software. Yes. Okay. So a man must grow to become masculine.
Yes.
Although people may think that masculinity is about muscles, when discussing manhood and masculinity, three things come into the mind: the size, the strength, and the skills. You know, naturally, males are bigger than females.
Yes.
Even in the animal world. How do you tell a pork from a chicken? It is the size. You see, males, because of their roles, maybe they become bigger because they have tough roles to play.
Yes.
And so a man is, when you're talking about manhood, you may concentrate more on the size and the strength. A man is big, a man is strong.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at masculinity, you now move further and say a man must also be skillful. So remember, the statement here is that you can be a man without being masculine, but you cannot be masculine without being a man. So in masculinity, we emphasize the quality. Maybe a man is quantity, and a masculine is quality.
Yeah.
So the attributes, the qualities, the characteristics of a man. Now, even from the word man, we have M-A-N.
Yeah.
So that M stands for maker. A man makes. He makes a family, makes a community, makes a country. A man is a maker. You go out there, you find men making things, making vehicles, making furniture.
Yeah.
And women too have their own attributes of that.
Yeah.
A for absorber. A man must absorb. So much comes into a man when you look at the roles and functions of a man. If a man does not absorb, so many things can. He may remain a man and not become a masculine.
Yes, yes.
Then N for navigator. A man must navigate. So a man makes, a man absorbs, and a man navigates to become masculine. Yeah? So we must train boys to become men, and men to become masculine, because in masculinity we celebrate the attributes, the qualities, the characteristics and roles that a man plays. And a man is very important. So is a woman. Of course, before God, God loves the men, he loves the women. We are all his creatures. But he has well cut out functions that he wants us to complement. Sadly, today, men and women are competing when they should be complementing. Men should not become women, and women should not become men.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah. Men don't become women, and women don't become men. Then we shall have double men and double women. The will of God, you know, you read Genesis 1, 27 to 28, he creates man. In the image of God, man and women are created, and then they are ordered to go and multiply, to go and produce, go into the world and be fruitful and multiply. So God commands in Genesis 1, 27 to 28. So the emphasis here, and then it takes skill. So we must start. For a long time, we have been feeding boys to become men. Now we have to form boys to become men and masculine. So a man needs more than feeding. He needs formation. And a program such as this is helping us to form the men. Because if you only feed them, that is attend to their physical needs, they become big in size, big in strength, and they remain men. They don't graduate to become masculine. So it is about turning quantity into quality. Now, let me mention types of men, and you'll realize that we have more men and few masculine. In my description, you will see that society and the church must help society train boys into men, men into masculine beings who have the quality and so on. So we have 5 types of men. We have what we call the acidic man, from the word acid. This is a man who burns like acid. He's acidic. He salts his words, his action, injures his wife, his children, his neighbors, his society, and so on. So if you don't train a man, he may remain acidic. Then we have the baby man. Baby. This is a man, like the word describes, who is very dependent. Like a baby, he needs a lot of attention, he needs a lot of support. Because again, I will mention that for a boy to grow into a man, into a masculine, there are actually 7 steps. You know, a man must grow 7 times to become what God wants. Many times we don't pay attention to the transitions a man should go through. Fine, I'll get there. Then number 3, we have the feast man. Number 1 was the acidic man, baby man, then the feast man. This is a man who's very physical. He quarrels, he fights, his fists, ngumi, mwanaume mangumi. And then he needs to be assisted. And then we have the parasitic man. This is a man, again, like the baby man, who's very dependent. Now, this is a very clever man, like a parasite, who just wants to get the best of his parents, his siblings. He depends on his sisters. He is a parasite. He hasn't become masculine. And then we have the loving man. Now, that is what God wants. Remember, God has assigned roles. When you read Colossians 3:12 to even 22, you will see God telling children to obey, women to respect, and men to love.
Yes.
So, a man loves, a woman respects. But of course, look at it keenly, it means the same thing. Because you cannot love without obeying, you cannot love without respecting, and you cannot love without loving. So the loving man is the mature man. This is a man at his best. When a man loves his creator, when he loves his wife, loves his children, a man is a vessel of love. A man should love who he is, what he does, those he surrounds, and when he loves, then he can make, then he can absorb, then he can navigate through the challenges of life. So we encourage our men to grow from being acidic, from being a baby, from being from only being physical, emphasizing their size and strength. A man must now emphasize. Today, to be a man is a skill. So we're saying, let's form men to be masculine and not just remain at the physical level. Because remember, a man has a body, a man has a mind, a man has a spirit, also called a soul. So, and a man must not just live at the body level. You know, that is the lowest you can do, just to be bodily. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. A man must also be intellectual. A man must be spiritual and godly to be able to play his role. See that? So we have work to do. We must, more than feeding men, we must start forming them and encouraging. And now, the associations of men, that's why in the churches, we must assist men come together to form associations that help them understand their roles. Yes, to help them be formed. So that you hear church talking about Catholic Men Association, CMA, the Quaker man, the Faith man. We need the PAG man, the ADC man. We must pay special attention because if we don't, then we will lose. And the man today has become very toxic, very acidic, and the world is where it is. Because God has given a man so much to do. And if we don't help men to deliver on the promises that God has given them, then we as child, we as family, we as school, we as society and church will have failed. So that such a program just for men, it's in us idea.
That is the 7 stages.
Yes.
Now I know I have to go sit down and think, am I acidic? Am I baby?
Yes.
Am I dependent?
Am
I feast?
Am I parasitic?
Am I parasitic? Or am I magnific value?
Yes.
And I think it's good that men sit down and really see, where have I reached?
Where am I? Yes.
Where do I lie in the grand scheme?
Yes.
Now, still as well, that is a 7 stages.
Yes. Yeah. So a man must go through this, must transit, must grow through these 7 steps. Number 1, there is the child. You're born a child. So you must, that is the first step, you are a child. Then you must go from a child to a boy. So you are a child, a baby child is the same. Then you become a boy. Then from a boy, you must grow to become a man. From a man, you must grow to become a gentleman. All right? From a gentleman, you must grow to become a leader. And from a leader, you must grow to become a provider. And from a provider, you must grow to become a protector. So, we will begin again. A man must grow 7 times. From a boy, from a child, to a boy. From a boy to a man. And you can see the rest is now masculinity. Now you have become a man. If you stop at that, you aren't there yet. So from
Being a man.
A man, he must become a gentleman.
Yeah.
He must now be gentle.
Yes.
Because we've said sometimes in manhood the emphasis is on size and strength.
Yeah.
But now when you become a gentleman, now you're on skill.
Yes.
Yes. So from a gentleman, a man must become a leader. From a leader, he must become a provider, then a protector.
Yeah.
When man is protecting what God has given him, what family, then we are at our best.
Chibole.
Yes.
Scientifically or whatever, psychologically,
Yes.
they've said most men stop developing at 14.
Yes.
Like it has been observed that girls at 13,
Yes.
men is 14.
Yes.
How do we deal with this? Can I put it as a psychological development stagnation, especially in the patterns of thinking,
Yes.
to get us to a place now we can become the provider and the protector? No, just let's start. Because the men, yes, physically, we can have gotten to even 30.
Yes.
But our systems of thinking are left at 14.
Yes.
So how do we go about leaving this boy?
Yes.
In fact, not even let's leave it, but let's assume at 14 you're supposed to be starting like a man.
Yes.
This man to a gentleman.
Yes. What do we need to
Yes.
do? Okay. Yes. And what does it take? It takes knowledge, it takes values, it takes skills to grow a man to a gentleman and to the masculine that he should be.
Yeah.
But women, first of all, as you mentioned scientifically, God seems also to have, God in his own wisdom, love and mercy, has also blessed women. Because, look, a woman is, when a man is leading and providing and protecting, a woman on the other one is caring and comforting and counseling. Women are very good at caring, very good at comforting, and nurturing, and then they counsel. So, and because of that, women mature faster.
Yes.
So, women become feminine, the opposite of masculine, faster than, so it's easy for a woman to grow from a woman to a feminine, from a woman to a lady, than it is for a man to grow from a man to a gentleman. As you would hear people say, women have 6 senses when men have 5. So more is given to women in that sense because of the roles also they have to play. You see, they have to carry a baby for 9 months and nurture that child for 18 years before they can face the world. So a man has to work harder to catch up with a woman, come to think of it. So that you've even seen in marriage, a man marries a woman slightly younger. When a woman is at her 20s, a man, and I was reading a book yesterday talking about women are at their best in their 20s. True. Yes, in their 20s they are at their best. That's right. In their prime. But a man reaches his prime in their 40s. You can see how long it takes a man to be a gentleman.
It's like double.
Double. So it looks like the match of a 40-year-old is a 20-year-old.
That's a very big difference.
Very big difference. Maybe because women grow faster, because they have their roles to play. And a man, it takes time to make a man. Even going by, you see how easy it is to conceive a girl and how it is to conceive a boy. Boys are conceived at ovulation. But a girl can be conceived before ovulation or even after ovulation. So it's easy to get a girl child than a boy child. So hard work really, a man is born through hard work and must live through hard work and must survive through hard work. So it's tough to be a man.
Yeah.
That's why a program like this is meant not only to challenge men, but also to encourage them.
Yeah.
A man needs both. He needs encouragement, but he also needs challenge.
Yeah.
If you only encourage a man, he doesn't become masculine. You must also challenge him.
Yeah, to do better.
Yeah, men like challenges. And so for a parent raising boys and girls in the home, they need to know that you challenge your boy to become a man.
Yeah.
You encourage your daughter to become a woman.
You actually nurture her to become a woman.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can see that. So going back to your question, is that that's why you see women are maturing faster, because women are fast learners. That's just in their nature. They grow very fast. They're very fast at everything they do.
They even adapt very fast.
Yes. But then again, they grow old very fast. So that's why but again, spiritually talking, a woman is very fast to believe, but she can also be very fast to fall away. Oh, men are slow. That's why I want to encourage even preachers that when you're preaching to men or ministering to men, take your time.
Yes.
They are slow.
Yes.
They are slow to get there. But once they get there,
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So take your time. And when you get a convinced man, when you convince a man, you have done a job.
Thanks.
Yes.
It's true, and you're a preacher, so
Yes, I am. For 22 years now, I'm preaching, and dealing with men has not been easy.
Yeah.
So you'll find the church is full of women and children.
Yeah.
We are struggling to get men and youth into the church just because they take their time. They ask questions.
Yes.
You must convince a man to contribute and support the church.
But once they do.
So slow to come in, slow to get out. A woman is fast to get in, but she can also be fast to get out. So again, you must know how to handle the two gender
dynamics.
Yes.
So, Father Chibole, what you're saying is the transition from being a man to being a gentleman is a slow process.
It's a slow process.
Right?
Yes.
Then number two, they have to be encouraged and at the same time challenged. Hey.
So read the signs. If he looks like he needs encouragement, go ahead and encourage him. If he needs a challenge,
You challenge him.
Whereas for girls
It's
and
all
women,
encouragement,
once you encourage them, they are home and dry.
Yeah, when it comes to the context of the church,
Yes.
encouraging people is our default thing.
Yes.
Like, God's going to bless you this week.
Yes.
Just pray. God is going to open doors if you trust Him.
Yes.
But how do you challenge a man? Especially when we're talking about open, we got to challenge these guys to become gentlemen.
Yes.
According to you, how tunapatiaje changamoto kwa sababu encourage the rahisi. But I came to realize, even on TV, encouraging somebody on TV, it's very easy.
Very easy.
When you go to the Word of God, it's very easy to find those. But when it comes to a man, hata ukisoma Paul, I think it's in 1 Corinthians.
Yes.
And so must stand up and be challenged. Stand up like a real man. I find the verse.
Yes.
That's a challenge.
Yes.
And it's only once
Yes.
hit such a challenge. How do we do this, especially in the house of God? Because
Okay.
kweli.
Fine. I want to use the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000 men. You see, Jesus could have fed those. Women were not counted,
and children.
and the children, meaning that was quite a huge crowd.
yes.
If men were 5,000, women could have been 10,000, the children could have been 15.
Yes.
So that was a huge crowd. But see what Jesus does. He could have called bread and fish from heaven. He has the power to do that.
Yes,
This is a God.
Yes, he did.
He's a
Yes.
mighty God.
Yeah.
But see what he does. He uses a small boy who had carried his packed lunch. And that miracle has two interpretations. One is that Jesus prayed over the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and because he has the power to multiply, and there was enough to feed and remain.
Yes.
But the other interpretation of the same miracle is that normally the Jews went to meetings with packed lunch. That was their custom to date. A Jew does not attend a meeting without his packed lunch and drink.
Uh-huh.
So they all had something to eat and drink, but their problem really was meanness. They were mean in the sense that everybody was suspicious that I may be carrying better food and better drink than my neighbor. And if I get it out, he may as well want me to share with him. So the miracle here is that Jesus convinced this crowd that you can follow the example of this little boy. You all have your fish and bread.
Yeah.
Please bring it forth. Let us share. And trust me, there will be enough for all of us, and there will even be something that will remain. See that?
Yes.
So now, that's how you challenge a man. You tell a man, yes, you must bring your bread and fish on table for God to bless it. Meaning, do something. So, you know, our God is not a God who promotes laziness. Nobody in the Bible is blessed for sitting and waiting. True. Look at even David, when Samuel goes to anoint a son of Jesse into kingship. He had 7 sons. They were, you know,
masculine as
yes, very strong, and they were there sitting and waiting. Little David thought he doesn't stand a chance. So he picked the little goats and sheep and he went grazing. And see what God does. He does not anoint those who sat and waited. He wants somebody who's working, the diligent boy. He is on his feet. So blessings never find us on our sitting apparatus. We must stand and do something. So that's how you challenge a man. You tell a man, you want blessings? Yes. Do something. In fact, I've discovered that when you do something to be blessed, you own those blessings more than if you
just sat down and became.
Now, compare these two men. The man who goes to the stage to, normally I go sometimes when I go by matatu, I'm walking to the stage. But somebody will receive you halfway and lead you to a matatu and claim that he has brought you. But I left my home, but fine. So whatever it is. Then you go in, he's given some 20 shillings for that. All right? See how he has gotten that money. Quite easily. And compare the man who went into somebody's shamba to weed the maize or whatever and gets 200 for that. And this one by 2020 maybe has even made 300. But see how these two men will spend their money. True, very different.
Yes.
So this one who got 300 easy, just walking people into the vehicle and claiming he brought them, will go drinking that money.
That's true.
But the guy who went to the shamba and worked hard will have something to show for the 200 he got. So what you get easily, you lose easily. And what you get by sweat, you keep. So a man must be challenged that if you work for it, you own it. But if you get it easy, you lose it. So it is dangerous to sit and wait. Remember, a man must make. We should remind men what their nature, their role is, and their relationship with God and neighbor should be. So a man must make. Make your money. Make your home. Make your family. You will protect it. What you make, you protect. But what you get easy, you lose. So the man of 300 will drink that money and go the next day to do the same. At the end of the month, he made 300 a day. He has nothing to show for it. Other than blowing off his liver and lungs by the smoking and the drinking. So that is the parasitic man I was talking about, who has nothing to take home. The loving man who went out there and worked so hard, has something to show for it. So but we challenge men, and formation, you see, feeding, when you feed a man is receiving. When you form a man is giving.
rudia tu kwa sababu wanataka waongeze volume.
Yes.
When you feed
a man receives. But when you form a man gives. A fed man is a receiver. A formed man is a giver.
Does that even apply? That also applies in marriage.
Yes.
So if your woman encourages you, respects you, and forms you,
yes,
she gets you as a giver.
Yes.
But if she's just giving,
yes,
you just take.
Yes. Then you become the parasitic man that nobody wants around themselves. So there you are. Men must celebrate, as they celebrate their size and strength. Here we are telling them, please, it takes a skill.
Yeah.
Yes, the skill. And women are beating us on that. Women are busy acquiring skills.
That's very true.
And doing things more than men could do. Mm-hmm. See, the number of women who are going past O-level to get a training, go into any college, you'll find more women than men.
Yes.
Because women now know, I must get a skill. So there they are. But men, for celebrating only their size and strength, leave it at that, and tomorrow roles are swapped. So today the man is running scared because the woman has invaded all the areas that were left for men.
Yes.
And the man is scared. I will give you an example. We in the church, we have children we call altar servers. Okay? These are children who assist the priest at the altar, the sanctuary. Now, traditionally, that was a job for boys who wish to become priests.
Yeah.
So again, for the shortage of boys, we admitted girls also could do the same. Now, the girls have ran the boys out of their job. So, but now I've discovered here in Bale, I have strictly insisted this job is reserved for boys because boys fear competition. So because girls can serve better, the boys leave it to them. And they simply go to areas where girls cannot beat them.
Yes.
So, for example, you know now girls cannot beat us on this.
Yes.
Smoking band and doing this. So they're going into strange areas of life where they believe, no, a girl cannot beat me on this one. And sadly, what we are allowing girls beat us in can beat us are things that you cannot write home about. So what am I also saying? That it's also good that we reserve certain roles for boys, for men, because I have, when you're teaching, for example, or even in church, and you ask a question, the girls and the women will be quick to raise their hand and participate.
Yeah.
Somehow boys and men are not quick to do it, and yet they have the answer.
Yeah.
But if you say, now this question, I'd like a man to answer, I'd like a boy, reserving it for them,
you get them engaged.
Yes. So this program is so important. The family, the church, the society, the world must just know, how do we deal with a man? We must go back for the men, for we lost them at some point.
Yes, we did.
As we had affirmative action to take care of the girls, somehow it was at the expense of the boys and the men. So the men are running scared. See how they're even scared to marry. Because the women are so ready for marriage, the men are not. And if they try marrying them, and tomorrow they are just lost in the game.
Very true. Very, very true.
And all they can do is get her 2 or 3 kids and run away. And then the ladies are remaining single, not because they wish to raise these children without their father, but their father ran away.
Yeah. The man can't make.
The man can't make. He is not masculine.
Yeah.
He remained a man with a size and a strength. He didn't have a skill. He didn't graduate.
Yeah.
We must graduate men. So that, going back to the initiation process, see what we are doing in church.
Yeah.
Last year we had the circumcision. After the boys went for circumcision, we had a day for them in church. We brought them to church, and now we were trying to counter whatever they were told in the bush or wherever they went for circumcision.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that is where manhood is emphasized and not masculinity.
Yes.
A woman should not tell you anything, blah, blah, blah. But we know there are 4 important women in a man's life. Again, I shouldn't forget to mention. A man should remember that there are 4 important women in his life who can help him be masculine. The first is your mother. Mothers are important.
Yes.
Never outgrow your respect and need for your mother. A mother will always be important. Number 2 is a sister. Your sister is important. If you have one. Again, you may not have a biological sister, but they are family sisters and spiritual sisters. You can always get.
Even some cousins.
Yes, they become sisters. Sisters at that level.
Yeah.
Then we have a wife. It's very important to a man. And then a daughter. So your mother, your sister, your wife, and your daughter are 4 important women who can help you be masculine, who can take you to the next level. And men who have interacted positively with these 4 women are far much better than those who have dismissed. There are boys who get some and and that's why I was saying that initiation process can easily make you rubbish on women. And yet, see, there are 4 important women you must never dismiss. Your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter, even your daughter has such a role to play in your life. She said, Daddy, could we do this? Daddy, you're not looking good. Change that coat. That is formation.
But I think I noticed the biggest changes for men, especially now that we're talking about the stages. He can have graduated from the man part, he's become a gentleman. Now, leadership is triggered by family. Because a gentleman, most of the time, that's when it's needed during dating. If you're a gentleman. Then after that, now you start getting committed, you become a leader. From there, now the family shows up and you become a provider. How come girls influence? Let me put this. How come mostly children influence the high ranks of our man circle? Let me call it the man circle. So the whole cycle thing. How come it's children? What is it special about children that just, because I've noticed most men, especially our two sons, when they get children, it's either 2 things, they either lead or they run. Either you're leading,
or you're running.
We mean, is it the responsibility? Is it the environment? Is it our culture? What is this that really makes us get to that point? Let me call it the attitude.
Now, very nice. Children. Very important part of our lives. Indeed, there is something a child does to a man. And so, children, look at what children require. 1, affection. So children make men affective. And you see, that's important. That is growth. Children make men attentive. Children will demand attention. See, a story is told of a child whose father was so absorbed in his laptop and so on. This child wanted some attention. Even when they cry or drop things, they're just seeking attention. Sometimes even when they misbehave and break rules in school, they just want attention so that you can be called to school. And they're so happy to see you paraded, before a panel. And they just did it deliberately. This man, I got him out of his job. He's now here.
Because of me.
Because of me. I have made you travel all the way. And the school insisted the father must come. See, attention. So let's not make our children get our attention the wrong way. So this child was disturbing the father. I'm making money, for heaven's sake. Go play outside. Oh, you're making money. So the child said, but Dad, how much do you make in an hour, 1 hour? I make about 5,000 in an hour, little child. So you can see when you waste my time, how much I lose. So this child ran out. Believe you not, the child went and collected 10,000, picked 5 relatives, and asked for 2,000 each. Uncle, just give me some 2,000, I wanted to. And because it is easy for somebody to give you money than their attention,
Yes.
even then they were quick to give him, and the child collected 10,000. Within a short time, came back, switched off the power and the laptop of the dad and said, Dad, and gave the dad 10,000. Said, Dad, I want to buy 2 hours from you. He said, you make 5,000 in an hour?
Yeah.
Here you are. And I tell you, that hit the man. You mean this is what it has come to? That my child has to buy my time? You can be sure that man did not remain a man. He had grown.
Yes.
So there is so children require affection, they require attention, and they require appreciation. And you know what is appreciation? Both gratitude and understanding. To appreciate is to be thankful, but it's also to understand. So this is what makes children soften men. A man with a child is very different from a man without a child.
That's very true.
So that is why in the growth, you are right to say that after being a man, you need to be a gentleman to marry.
Yeah.
And once you are married, children will come in, thanks to God. And then you must lead them, provide them, protect them. And so that's where they come. So children make men affectionate, attentive, and appreciative. And so they are important. So a man with a child is grown. So men, that's why now men who are refusing to marry or dodging marriage these days are filling the world with men when we need masculine, when we need loving men.
Yes, we do.
Yes, so there is no running away from God knows why. In your late 20s, again talking about age and achievement. Yeah. So when you, by the time you're 20, you should have gone to school, schooling. By the time you are 25, you should have trained and gotten a job. By the time you are in your late 20s, you should have married. You should have settled in your family so that you can face your 30s and your 40s like that. But one thing about men again, like we said, you see, men, it's tough to be a man. Yes, society must appreciate that. And so support the men as they go through their 7 steps before they can be protectors. Because if there's one important job God has given a man is to protect creation. Very true. To protect it. Yeah. Yes. So we should be able to assist men to get there. Yeah. And aware of what a man goes through, then society should really come in and assist him. And he may be slow, but he's sure. He will surely get there if we support them. So we should be able to look at assist. In the past, somebody would be assisted to put up a house, to get some dowry and marry. And so the society was communal, it was social. Yes. Today there's a lot of individualism, capitalism, so a man on his own, without a little support, may never grow to become a protector. So family, neighborhood, church, school, all of us, it's a collective responsibility. No one person can form a man into the protector he should be. It is a collective responsibility. But you see, society is very quick to say, he's a man, he should survive. Men are given very little, yet they should do so much. Yes. So we must give men more to get more from them.
Okay. And then, Father Chibole, I was reading an article. I think it was in the Science Journal.
Yes.
And it said only 40% of men look for help. Now we're going to mental health.
Yes.
Because we need to help them.
Yes.
Only 40% of men look for mental health. And out of that 40%,
yes,
I think it was 80% are told to man up.
Yes.
And only 20% actually do get the help they need.
Yes.
How do we help men look for help? Because, like you said, you see, for men, you either challenge them or you encourage them.
Yes.
There are only 2 ways.
Yes.
And most of the time when we're going through crisis, most men shut down.
Yes.
watakwambia uko sawa, uko sawa, mimi mwenyewe.
Yeah.
Uko sawa, niko sawa, mimi mwenyewe.
Yes.
How do we help them and challenge them, especially deal with this mental health issue? Because at 40%, that is pretty low. That means someone can have moja.
Yes.
Only 40 of them. If you have 10 people, only 4 of them will look for help. And we're talking about people with problems of machine.
Yes.
So with such a very narrow margin,
That's below average.
Yeah, that's way below average.
Yes.
How do we help our women
Yes.
when they talk to us like this? Because, like you said, some of them, some of them don't know better.
Yes.
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 Yes. Shida zako maneno ni kuvumilia.
Yes.
Inaomba lakini nitazoea. That's a very bad attitude, because at the end of the day now, if you notice, suicide rate among men, I think now it's now going up.
Yes.
About 70% of suicide rates are men. Depression, let's not even talk about what they call functional depression.
Yes.
Wow, define it as vizuri, but
Yes. Yes.
in terms of what could you,
In fact, you're hiding in work.
you're hiding in work. Unajificha ndani. How do you bring men, and like I said, you being not just a leader but also a spiritual leader?
Yes.
How do we help them wapate usaidizi so that at least maisha yao yaongezeke kidogo, because inapungua sana.
Okay. Good question.
Yes.
I'm thinking that you take care of your child by taking care of the house help.
Yes.
There is no way your child will be taken care of if your house help is neglected.
True.
You take care of the cow to get the milk.
Yes.
So now, those who handle boys, the boys handlers,
Yes.
the agents of men formation,
Yes.
are the ones we must also target, because they're the same ones who tell, stop crying, you're a man. Go do that, you're a man. That message is given to a child from a very early age. So for us to transform the situation, we must handle the people I'm calling the agents of men formation.
Yes. Yes.
The handlers of boys and men. And these are the parents, particularly the mothers. Because the mother is the one who nurtures.
Yeah.
And the mother was raised, and the mother was encouraged, and she saw the brothers being told, a girl is allowed to cry, a boy is not. So we must go back to the parents and form the parents to form the boys in through the 7 steps. The teachers at school.
Yes.
Particularly teachers in boys' schools. You go to most of these boys' schools, hey, I was so happy to see Mbale boys with a perimeter wall now.
Yeah.
Because you see, all girls' schools,
Listen, good. Yes.
I even went to the school to congratulate the principal. Mbale boys. Thank you for taking care of our boys.
Yeah.
Finally, and you have seen, look at meet the Mbale boys on the streets now, their self-esteem
It's gone up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, they're just sneaking into a forest, and sneaking out. No wonder they were doing bad and doing other, because that's what people do in a forest. But now they are walking into an executive school.
Yeah.
So those who are handling boys, you go to girls' schools, they are sparkling.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Hata chakula
Yes. Go to a boys' school, bwana. Mwanaume ni kuvumilia, maana ulikuja masomo hapa, hukuja. No, we must handle the boy so that you can also, because what happens outside you affects what happens inside you. So I've talked about the parents need to be assisted, the teachers, the employers of men, so that because you were very specific about men not accessing mental health support. Did you know that counseling is so important that every institution wanted the men should invest in counseling? We should have, recently we had the election of a pope for the Catholic.
Yes.
You know that sister in chapel, there is a room called the crying room. After a cardinal is elected a pope, the first thing after praying over him, he is ushered into the crying room and is locked there, told, man, cry all you want, but come out as a leader of the church in the world. I asked myself, look at that. The Pope is allowed to go cry before accepting the role. That while this is glorious, this is tough. As you look at the glory, look at the cross. It's a blessing, it's a burden. So we need to train men also. Train here means opening up. Yeah. Being able to say, will I manage getting in touch with yourself? Yeah. You know, the other thing about men is that men live in the mind, women live in the heart. Mm-hmm. Men are very mental, women are very feelings. Yes, mm-hmm. Emotional. We believe men are rational, women are emotional. Mm-hmm. But you need a balance of the two. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you shouldn't just think without feeling, and you should not feel without thinking. So if we train and convince those who handle boys into manhood and masculinity, to know that it belongs to them, it's what they plant into these boys, that they should also be able to assist them, know that a boy child is a child like any other. Yes. What you do for a girl, you should also do for a boy. Yes. But more than encouraging him, also challenge him, because they like tasks and because of the roles God has given them to do. Yeah. So those who handle are the people we should target, because by the time we're meeting a boy in primary school, in a secondary school, you know he's already formed. Yeah, true. Very true. So, but if the formator, number one, even at the time of breastfeeding, is already forming the child. Remember, society must not just feed, it must form. Yes. For a long time, we have been feeding men, and they just remain men. But if we form them, formation is about skill. Yeah. And the rest is about just, yes, this is quality, this is quantity. So people go for what is easy. So now you must realize, many parents think it is easy to raise a boy. Oh, no. You will hear them say, me I have 3 boys in the house, shida. The fellows have eaten and they have a TV to watch. Mimi wazazi wa wasichana ndio mna shida. Kumbe. Yes. So we must understand that a child is a child, a youth is a youth, and be able to invest in both male and female. But we had neglected the boy child, the man. So society needs to ensure that we support. I'm so happy when society, now we have even paternity leave. I was told that is now a thing. That when a man gets a child, he's given leave to go bond with the child. Yes. It's important to speak blessings to the child, because now come to think of it, a mother nurtures, a man blesses. Yes. So now look at the vessels of blessings ill-prepared. So many fathers have gone to the graves with the blessings they should have left with their children. Yes. Inheritance and legacies, and the grave with them. And children have remained well nurtured, but not yet blessed. And there is a problem. So this boy child, this man, this male, this masculine being is quite key. He's a decision maker. He has all these roles to play. And unless we equip him properly, we will just blame him. Men are the problem. Men. Yeah. But how much have we invested in them for us to demand them? Yes. I think we can be here for hours. This man has transitioned. Yes. And one thing I notice is when men make a mistake, or when a man falls, you can be even in the highest form. Now we're talking about a protector. Yes. Sometimes when they fall, it's very hard for them to get back up. Yes. It's not an observation I've just made. It's like when men make mistakes, it's like tunaingianga hii zone yenye kututoa in. Yes. How does society go about it? Because there are some very good men who have made honest mistakes. Yeah. And because we don't really think, and they can apologize. Yes. But some of them, the mental bliss, yes. How do we pull them up?
So he's as like you said, it's something. Let's put it. Is how do we reform
Yes.
the man?
Correct. Very right.
Because like you said, there's the making.
Yes.
But then there's also sometimes you need to do a remaking.
Yes.
Of a man.
True.
Especially when you're going to trauma.
Yes.
When you're going to crisis, and I'm sure you've dealt with some. And like one thing I noticed is if I have a friend of mine who him and his girlfriend got pregnant.
Yes.
And she lost the child at the month.
Yes.
He just went.
Down.
He went. The girl came back.
Yes.
She's doing good. She's living on the life. But I noticed he become a. So how do we do the making and the formation of a man? Because there's the making, which we all know, Sasa, idea, economy. Like this guy was ready. He was even, we're talking about he had bought things for the child. Like he was,
Yes.
and this happens. And like I said, sometimes you'd find maybe they got into drugs or they lost their job.
Yes.
It affected them. How do we now do the remaking?
Yes.
Oh, because sasa unajua ametoka kutoka level 7.
Yes.
Kimpango amerudi kama na knowing men, like you said, sometimes at ranks one.
Yes.
So how do we help them get back there?
Very true.
Yes.
Yeah, so very good question. That you know, when talking about formation, there's also deformation.
Yes, yes.
That calls for reformation.
Yes.
Now, form, you know, somebody deformed, formed, and reformed. Very important to know that yes, you may form, but somebody could get deformed by a situation. How do you reform them?
Yes,
very good question. Which brings me to remember about you know, the 3 H's of a man, which is the head, the heart, and the hands. To be a good man, you need strong hands.
Yes.
But you need a brilliant head.
Yes.
And you need a passionate heart. Now, you remember, men brag of being rational. Yes. Women persevere when we call them emotional. But did you know that because women live at the heart, it is very easy for them to rebound. Women are very resilient.
Yeah.
They bounce back an adversity because they feel. Now, a man thinks a lot, and you know, thoughts are not enough. Yes. Yeah, that's even what makes them commit suicide. When they think we will not understand them, we will laugh at them. You know, stay in the head. Yes, they stay in the head. So a man must, and you know, the journey from the head to the heart to the head is one of the longest.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
To believe what you know and to know what you believe is quite something.
Yes.
So as we train a man, maybe for a long time, we have trained the hands of a man to work, the head of a man to think, and we have forgotten a man is not a feeler. Men don't feel. And yet, to bounce back, you need to feel. As somebody feels with you, so women, they will go to another woman and say, I've lost that baby. And the other woman will feel with her, and they will cry together, and they will bounce back. But since a man lives in the head, and you know, that becomes very difficult because the thinking is so linear, so straight. Feelings are quite cyclic. You don't really. They connect the unconnected. So we need to train a man at that level of at the level of feeling, so that when a man's emotions are well trained, he will bounce back. But now it is dangerous. The mind is so fixed. But what is flexible is the heart. You know, even if you feel the head and the heart is soft. The head is hard. Yes. So men grow what is hard and forget what is soft, and yet it is the heart, that brings us back. So more than thinking, let us also feel. And because then we also need to teach men how to relate. You know, a man is a worshipper, a man is a worker, a man is a witness, but therefore man must also be relational.
Yes, relationship.
And when we confide men helping men must help one another and stop rationalizing anything and everything.
Yeah.
So when we grow, so we need to pay attention and assist our men to feel.
So for us to have the reformation, it starts with the heart.
Let's grow the heart.
Eh.
And not just the hands and the head, because that will make them make decisions, but on relating, and likely relating to a child you have lost, requires the heart.
Yes.
A heart that is passionate,
Yes.
empathetic, it can feel.
Yeah.
So, and you realize that the world operates on feelings more than on reason.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah, look at even politics.
It's all about feelings.
It's about feeling. The guy may be wrong, but people feel him. Yeah, so men need to, and that's why I look at a child. A child connects more with a mother who feels than a father who only thinks.
Yes.
So let's help a man feel and grow his emotional skills and emotional maturity, because most of the mistakes we make, we make many, while we think that decisions are made by the mind, the head, but many decisions are made by the heart.
Yes.
So that is where I see the missing link. And then that brings us to the conclusion. Then we said that a man, is the hardware.
Yeah.
And the masculine
is the
software.
So software update.
Yes,
to the heart
is what we need.
Thank you so much. Guys, we are concluding the week on men, and I think Father Chibole has done a great job. Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
And wanaume mmesikia the 3 H's, the 7 stages of maturity, weird types of men. So remember, we are going for the loving man. Thank you so much, Baba.
You must.
Anyway, I'm glad you got to join us this week. And starting Thursday, we are starting on our day this week. Okay, it's for about 10 days. And the ladies will be here and they'll be sharing. And I think to finish it off, we'll also have Father Chibole. So in about 10 days, be ready to have this wonderful man of God. I love his wisdom. I love your wisdom.
Thank you so much.
It's very nice. And as a man, I've been encouraged. So I'm going for a software update where my heart software is updated and my head is down to Sarah. Otherwise, until next time, God bless you, and please stay tuned for lunch hour with Bishop Dr. Isaac Wawire, and today at 4:30. Blessings. Back to you, Eddie, and Kwaheri.
Santa.
This is